My name is Chuey, and let me tell you about my brother Jamal. Today I went to the cafeteria to order pizza and got a chance to run into him. Those boys behind us, they weren't a good influence on my brother at all. See, my family, we came from Guadalajara, Mexico, and I met Jamal when I was in middle school. I finally was able to catch up with Jamal and explain to him how I, his dad, and my family expect to see him at graduation since he started rebelling in our senior year of high school. See, Kimmy, she was a good girl. Jamal was strongly into her, but I cannot say that he was in love. Kimmy was a nerd. She was going to a HBCU after graduation, and in the cafeteria, we'd often all meet up to talk about our plans. Kimmy had a job. She actually was a volunteer. She had a good track record, and I think that's why Jamal found peace within her spirit. She often spoke good things into him, letting him know how smart he was and how she saw great things for his future. I think most of the time, Jamal thought we were there to lecture him and make him feel bad. I don't know why, and I can't tell you why, Jamal started rebelling in our senior year of high school. But I do know that we did have plans to go to college together and then conquer the world together. For some reason, things we would say will go through one ear and out the other to him. He found solace in Kimmy for some reason. She brought him peace. Jamal came from a great family, was the only kid in our school to have a Tesla, which his parents worked hard for. He loved spending time with Kimmy. His favorite thing to do was to look at the stars. And Kimmy brought some sort of peace to his life. He loved making wishes, but I can tell someday that changed. One day, I went to visit him, and he just seemed so different. Mind you, we didn't hang out like we used to. He was my best friend, but you can tell things kind of drifted between us. But the brotherly love was always there. I noticed Jamal was into things, things that he shouldn't have been. But who am I to judge? I'm not perfect, nobody is. But my brother became kind of weird. He started hanging with the dudes at school, the lowlifes, the ones who didn't speak of goals, didn't have any ambition, but hustle, get money, and get girls. Even the boy's mother would try to hang out like she was in high school, flirting with the older kids that were over 18, still trying to graduate. You could tell Jamal didn't fit in with them. Jamal, one day, when we were younger, his mom was laying on the bed and he realized that she didn't wake up. So he cuddled and snuggled underneath her. He knew something was wrong. She was dead. He didn't know what to do. He laid with her all night and into the morning. Nobody loved Jamal like his mother. He said when she didn't respond to him, something fell off and he just cried. He just laid there, and when his dad came home, Jamal was asleep. And knowing that he would have to call the morgue, he didn't want to interrupt the last peaceful sleep his son would have with his wife, his mother. He couldn't believe it. Jamal couldn't believe it. Nobody loved Jamal or could comfort him like her. Jamal started selling PCP, sherm, meth, weed, anything illegal, you name it. And all he wanted was his mother. I tried to have family councils, or how do you say it, councils, with my parents to help Jamal, to give Jamal help. Jamal seemed mentally ill, but my parents tried to intervene many times. On numerous occasions, my parents would tell me that if Jamal don't want help, there's nothing they can do. Jamal kept running the streets and running the streets. I was so afraid for him, I started to run. Because I didn't know what to do. I started causing strains on my parents. All I could think about is Jamal running the streets. But my parents loved me too. Jamal got so deep into the streets. There was nothing I can do. And my brain wasn't even fully developed to even comprehend how deep into the streets he was. My mother loved me, and she always knew the best ways to comfort me. And I just wish my brother had that same love once again, but it would never be. My mother says she loved Jamal, but you can't help somebody that don't want it. Jamal constantly hung with these bad kids. They were so bad that their parents were the negative influences on their lives. So what would they care at all about Jamal? If the mom was acting like she was in high school, how could she ever comprehend what Jamal needed? Jamal didn't feel love. One day, Jamal got robbed, beat up, and was left to lay on the ground. Jamal wasn't hard. He wasn't tough. He was just lost. Jamal was a nerd. Why did he choose that life? I will never personally understand what he felt. Even when he wasn't alone, he would tell me he always felt alone, dwelling in paranoia, checking the windows. I would even sit with him while my dad would get home from work and sit waiting for me. One holiday, Christmas exactly, Jamal's dad threw a family gathering. Jamal's mother wasn't there. All Jamal said was that it felt so gray. The sky didn't even feel how it usually felt when he'd wake up to his mother. His favorite cousin was there though, but it just didn't feel the same. The holidays were no longer fun. Jamal's favorite cousin used to try to get Jamal out of his head, and they would turn up. Jamal loved to turn up. But always, out of nowhere, he would start reminiscing about his mother. He felt like, how could everybody be celebrating when the best part of me is gone? It felt like nobody cared. Jamal suffered deep depression. Maybe it went deeper than that. But all Jamal ever could think about was his mother. And the crazy thing is, his dad was still there. His dad even tried different forms of help for him. Nothing worked. Depression pills, hugs, saying I love you. Jamal knew the death of his mother is what made him a beast. Even on that Christmas night, Jamal went to hang with the dudes from school, the lowlifes. They would run up on him. And they didn't forget that Jamal lost the drugs. Jamal tried to say that he didn't. I didn't lose them. I was robbed. I just spent the holidays with my family. But these people didn't care. They didn't have what Jamal had. The streets was all they had. They didn't care about nothing he was talking about because the bills wait for no one. And the dude that robbed him, the people that he got the supply from were his cousins. So Jamal, he didn't win anyway. The mother, the father, the uncles were the leaders. And these kids didn't have no hope. They were guided just perfectly with the lifestyle they lived. These kids were ruthless. They didn't have discipline. They didn't even listen to their parents half the time. Jamal pleaded and pleaded, but they still beat him up anyway. Jamal was always defeated. Seemed like nothing he was doing could ever be right. For some reason, he didn't want to live right. He thought he would find love similar to his mom, which he never did. I would sit with him, and he would get so paranoid that it would freak me out. I'm a kid, so all I could do is run. But I never intended to leave him behind. That's my brother. Jamal just ran the streets. Always looked for the easy way out. Continued to hang out. They only cared about him because he was their crash dummy. Jamal knew he was in too deep. All he could do was sit, think, reminisce. I even think he started using drugs because he would always sit in the dark. Always. He used to be so full of life. We used to play board games, basketball, talk about the future. So I know this was not my brother. The Jamal we knew. Lesser and lesser, I would hang out with Jamal. The day I got to hang out with him, it was so much fun. I didn't realize how deep he was into the life until we were hanging out. I found a girl. She became my girlfriend. And out of nowhere, things became crazy. Kimmy spotted some dudes looking for him and told him on the low. Jamal freaked out. We were only kids. We didn't know what to do. Jamal ran and kept running. These dudes were after him. And I thought maybe he'll just get beat up again. I mean, my family escaped, so I knew he would too. But they caught him. He fell to his knees, and I heard he blacked out. But what could I do? I was only a kid myself. I didn't understand. I didn't understand how a nerd could end up this deep. The morning of graduation, everything felt so still in my house. But I had to get ready. And Jamal said he would show up. Everybody was there. I even kept his hat and waited for him. All of his friends were there. My family was there. His dad had to work to make sure he paid the mortgage. But we were having a great time. And I waited. Even my girlfriend, she ended up leaving because she had something to do. But I continued to wait because my brother may have been a lot of things, but I know he wouldn't let me down. We talked about this all our years of high school, the future. So I believed in him and I waited. I knew times were hard for him, but he wasn't a liar. I waited all night and he never showed. I thought, am I in denial? Because I thought I will see him. Maybe I'll see him to pick up our diploma. All I could think about was when life used to be so simple for us. Kids hoping and dreaming for a great life. Jamaal was murdered. I can't help but apologize because had we all taken his mental illness, his depression, more serious, only if we knew there were professional resources to help him, my brother would still be here. So if anyone you know suffers from mental illness or depression, please learn from us and get help before it's too late, like us.